Thank you for joining us here at One Kingdom Worldwide as we share the greatest love story ever told in support of the God-led life. Welcome to Section 1, Essential Scriptural Context that has been lost down through the ages. In the last several episodes, we've been reminding you that for the last 20 years or so, the internet has been facilitating collaborative, scholarly, peer-reviewed evidence of critically essential scriptural context that has been lost down through the ages. That evidence is now being accepted by our seminaries of repute, and that we are assimilating much of it for you here. Regarding the Sabbath, that unlike our churches of today, anyone could ask a question, make a comment on the scriptural text for the day, or give a related testimony in any synagogue on any Sabbath. That, unlike our churches of today, Sabbath synagogue time was all about conversational learning with the entire community. Regarding his Talmudim, that Jesus was focused upon daily conversational learning with his 12. That he used preaching in public to pique the people's interest and to draw them in closer for more relational, conversational opportunities. That the 12 were actively participating in conversational opportunities for the development of the 70, and the 70 for the 500, as they became more and more like their rabbi, Jesus. That the rivers of living water that Jesus described are to flow from us individually will collectively create a flood of living water that flows out of our churches and into our communities. In summary, that when Jesus operated in conversational learning in the synagogues and with the 12, that it led to the 70 and the 500 followers that Bible history describes. And that has led to his story being shared across the whole earth. And then we ask the question, how will we return to what Jesus modeled for us? So, if you want to end the closing of a net of 8 churches every day here in the USA, the synagogue way of conversational learning in church on Sunday would be consistent with the synagogue ways of Jesus. And if church leadership will commit to practicing Talmudic living together first, before initiating conversational learning on Sundays, that would be a good start to the making of Talmudim, who are making Talmudim, who are making Talmudim, baptizing them into the internal, life-giving presence of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Spirit. Not in hierarchy, but in the collective wisdom as one with Him. Within every denominational and non-denominational division of Christianity, you will find a small percentage of pastors like this. Pastors who are more about our direct relationship with God than they are to adherence and allegiance to their organizing denominational group. Whether in a mainline denomination, a small affiliation, or non-denomination, these pastors are conversationally sharing the ways of Jesus, as described in the contents of the Gravitas book and the Life, Love, and Leading books, consistent with what has been revealed over the last 20 years through the collaborative, peer-reviewed efforts of scholars worldwide that our seminaries of repute are now in agreement with. Dedicated to Christ as the head, they have overcome religion, authority, and hierarchy to conversationally grow, mature, and expand God's kingdom, collectively discerning and following as one. focusing on growing Talmudim individually, in similarly small groups as Jesus did, each are making Talmudim who are making Talmudim who are making Talmudim. As, like Jesus, each only say and do what our Father gives them to say and do, His yoke easy and His burden light. The joy of the Lord is their strength each day, and as individual grains of salt, God's light causes them to reflect His glory everywhere they go. Ignoring the divisive religious traditions of mankind, God's Talmudim are growing loving fellowships that are influencing their communities. May it be so for you. Go where God sends you. Be salt, light, and yeast, and have fellowship with others that you encourage each other along the way. Be a Talmid. Go and make Talmudim, whether God's will causes that to be a few people or many. It is enough. As you walk in the attitudes of Jesus, with the mind of Christ, your heart after the Father's, by the leading of the Holy Spirit as the Father does His works in you, though in this world you will have trouble, peace that surpasses all understanding will be yours. Life is short. The heavenly, eternal reunion awaits. Until then, make the most of us, O God, that we do all your will. End religion. Spread relationships as people following Jesus in the way to live a life pleasing to God in conversational learning. Do you want it? See you next time.